The rise of cyber warfare, how nations are preparing for digital battles. Space used to be about exploration, discovery, and pushing the limits of human potential. But those days are fading fast. The final frontier is now a battlefield, one where nations aren't just racing to launch rockets but to seize digital control of the cosmos. The world's most powerful militaries are no longer just flexing their muscles with advanced satellites. They're investing heavily in cyber warfare capabilities that can disable space assets, disrupt global communications, and even turn satellites into weapons against their own creators. It's not about how many satellites a country can launch anymore, it's about who can protect them from a cyber attack. Or, more worryingly, who can strike first. Satellites control everything from GPS navigation to missile defense systems, making them prime targets for digital warfare. A well-placed cyber attack can distort intelligence data, shut down entire defense networks, or even hijack an enemy's spacecraft. Space-based cyber warfare isn't science fiction, it's happening right now. The silent arms race. Superpowers like the US, China, and Russia are pouring resources into cyber weapons designed to hack, jam, and manipulate space infrastructure. But this isn't a war fought with missiles, it's one waged in the shadows, beyond the reach of traditional treaties and international oversight. And it's not just nation-states. Cybercriminals and rogue groups have realized that space infrastructure, critical for banking, emergency response, and national security, is a goldmine of opportunity. A single breach could send markets into chaos, block emergency communications, or compromise entire defense strategies. As our world becomes more dependent on space-based technology, one thing is clear: cybersecurity in orbit is no longer optional, it's a necessity. If nations don't act fast to secure their assets and set global rules of engagement, space won't just be the final frontier. It'll be the most dangerous battlefield of all. Cyber weapons in space, tools of digital destruction. Unlike kinetic weapons that destroy targets physically, cyber weapons in space aim to manipulate, disable, or deceive. These tools have the potential to cause widespread disruption, not only in military operations but also in global communication and navigation systems. As we venture deeper into the digital age, space has become an essential domain for defense, communication, and even economic activities. However, with this reliance comes a growing threat from cyber adversaries capable of launching sophisticated attacks. The most potent tools in the arsenal of space cyber warfare include 1. Satellite hijacking. One of the most concerning threats in space cyber warfare is the potential for satellite hijacking. Hackers with the right expertise can seize control of satellites, effectively hijacking them to disrupt critical functions. By manipulating satellite operations, cyber attackers can interrupt military communications, intelligence gathering, and even missile guidance systems. These disruptions could have devastating consequences, particularly if adversaries gain control of navigation or surveillance satellites, which are crucial for modern warfare and defense strategies. 2. GPS spoofing and jamming. Another significant threat comes from GPS spoofing and jamming. Global Positioning System (GPS) satellites are pivotal for both military and civilian applications, from guiding military operations to enabling commercial navigation systems. By spoofing or jamming these signals, adversaries can feed false location data to a wide range of systems. This could mislead military fleets, divert aircraft, misguide missile systems, and even lead to large-scale traffic accidents if commercial fleets are misdirected. In the wrong hands, this capability could cripple entire sectors that depend on accurate location data, such as aviation and shipping. 3. Malware-based attacks. Cyber espionage groups have already demonstrated the ability to implant malware into spacebound systems, effectively hiding within the system until activated at a critical moment. Malware attacks on space-based assets can take various forms, from disrupting onboard systems to corrupting sensitive data transmitted from space to ground stations. Such attacks can be triggered remotely or activated by certain conditions, leaving little to no time for countermeasures. Once malware is injected into a satellite or spacecraft, it becomes a ticking time bomb capable of compromising sensitive missions, whether military or commercial. 4. Denial of service (DoS) attacks. Denial of service attacks target the availability of a system, and in the case of satellites, this means rendering them inoperable. By flooding a satellite's command channels with excessive traffic, attackers can overwhelm the satellite's communication systems, effectively shutting it down. This renders the satellite useless during critical moments, leaving military forces or commercial entities without vital communication or surveillance capabilities. These attacks can target both government and private satellites, with potential consequences for national security, international relations, and global commerce. 5. AI-powered attacks. As artificial intelligence (AI) technology advances, cyber attackers are increasingly incorporating AI-driven attacks into their strategies. These AI-powered cyber attacks are not only more efficient but also highly adaptive. With the ability to autonomously target and analyze satellite systems, AI can launch highly targeted attacks, bypassing traditional defense systems. Moreover, AI-powered malware can evolve, learning to avoid detection and adapting its methods to defeat security protocols. This level of sophistication presents a massive challenge for satellite defense systems, which are often not designed to combat such advanced and ever-changing threats. The increasing reliance on space-based assets for communication, navigation, and surveillance makes them prime targets for malicious actors. The tools mentioned above represent only a fraction of the potential methods cyber attackers could employ to compromise space systems. As space becomes more congested with satellites and digital infrastructure, it is critical for nations and organizations to prioritize the security of their space assets. This includes investing in advanced cybersecurity protocols, improving satellite resilience, and fostering international cooperation to address the growing threat of cyber warfare in space. Nations on the offensive. Who's leading the space cyber arms race? The race to secure and dominate the space domain is no longer just about physical assets. Nations are now gearing up for a fierce battle in cyberspace, where control over satellite systems, communication networks, and orbital infrastructure can dictate the balance of power. As nations invest in space programs and integrate cyber warfare strategies into their military doctrines, the space cyber arms race has become an essential aspect of global security. Leading this race are established space powers, with both strategic offensive and defensive operations in orbit. United States, the first mover advantage. The United States has long been a leader in space technology, and its space defense strategy has now evolved to emphasize the importance of cyber warfare.